welcome to the CDO Magazine interview series. I'm David Boone, Associate Publisher with CDO Magazine, and we're partnering with the MIT CDO IQ Symposium and the International Society of Chief Data Officers in a series of interviews. Folks, today I have the pleasure of actually talking with Brian Keith at Microsoft. And I'm going to tell you guys, he's in Washington, D.C. We can't wait to hear what Brian has to say today. So first off, Brian, can I explain your role at Microsoft for us?
Yeah, first, David, thanks for inviting me. I'm Brian Keith, and my role is I work for Microsoft Federal. I'm the Azure Data and AI leader, and I partner with government leaders on their digital transformation, primarily around data, AI, and cloud.
Great. And so can you give us kind of like the ways the government is currently kind of using AI and machine learning? Can you give us kind of background and a few examples of that as well?
Yeah, sure. I mean, the government, as you're aware, has tons and tons of data. So they are prime, AI machine learning. A couple examples of use cases that I've seen is process optimization, where you have a manual process that has a lot of data, a lot of forms, and you have employees really spending a lot of time on those efforts, right? And you can take those efforts and move them to AI machine learning algorithms to crunch through those data, crunch through those forms, because these machine learning algorithms are tireless, and they can work around the clock, and you'll free up your federal employees to do higher level tasks. Also, there's for example, DoD. You can use AI machine learning for predictive maintenance. For DoD, one of the most important things is operational readiness, right? Making sure your aircraft, your tanks, and your equipment are at the highest state possible. And with AI and machine learning, you can actually predict when to change out a part, but not that increases not only safety but also unit readiness. But it's not just the part that AI can help you with; it's also the supply chain and making sure that part is actually in the inventory and forward deployed to where you need it. And all that helps with uptime and readiness. So one other example is citizen engagement. With all this government data, AI machine learning allows the government to be more transparent with that data, to engage with citizens, create that experience, and make it 24/7. Vice just via phone calls, emails, or meeting. Essentially giving the citizens 24/7 access to the data they need. And one other one that I've seen a lot is around research. There's tons and tons of research. A lot of that is unstructured data and leveraging AI machine learning to pull insights out of that research, to accelerate research, to democratize that research. Really helps all the researchers in the government. So those are just some examples, but there are many more.
And I know that the government employs lots of, thousands of people. So, I mean, do you feel, is that a culture change to the government environment? And do you have to deploy kind of a team of people to help make that cultural change as well, as well as the background in having the technology, but also on the cultural side as well?
Yeah, exactly. I'm from my experience of working, with the government. You always want to start with AI literacy, really making sure that the leaders and the analysts and the SMEs and and a technical team understand AI, understand machine learning, and that's really the first step. And then what I recommend is taking a look at the mission and then think of areas where you have the data and you have the use cases where you can leverage that AI. And that starts to create the AI culture that you're talking about, in a sense, is you start looking at your processes in a different way. You start to look at ways that, where it makes more sense to push that process or that use case over to an algorithm to free up humans. So a lot of people jump right in to start trying to develop AI. Like you said, very important is start with AI literacy, understand your mission, understand how you apply AI to that mission. Then that starts the culture change, and then you start implementing projects to leverage AI.
And do you see, what are the constraints do you see happening in a government? I mean, in that standpoint and trying to implement stuff?
I would say really the biggest constraint is just that initial move, from, legacy infrastructure to the cloud. And some of the concerns about that is really around extending legacy applications to the cloud, and the complexities around that. Also securing the cloud in the environment, right? They're obviously going to be concerned about their application data and making sure that is secure. But once they've gotten through the complexities and gotten through the concerns around security, they operate within a cloud. I mean, more secure cloud, but pretty much like anybody would in the cloud or any company.
Gotcha. And then how is cloud, do you feel cloud is helping the public is kind of, but the private sector and the public sector in that digital transformation?
Yeah, see, to me, the cloud really is the basis of digital transformation, because once you've moved to the cloud, then it enables you to have agile application development, allows you to scale down in terms of adding compute where needed, scaling horizontally when you want to add more projects and be more mission ready, and you can scale it back. And it really sets the basis for follow-on computing like AI, machine learning, IoT, and analytics. And it really puts you in a position to, it sets that stage for your digital transformation journey.
Great. And so what, in terms of what trends do you see happening coming down the line or coming down the pipe for cloud computing? As, people get involved in AI, machine learning, so I'm quite sure there are more trends that are happening moving forward. Since you're working, for Microsoft, I'm quite sure you guys are privy to some of the things.
Yeah, definitely. I would say my three favorite is moving, cloud to the edge. With 5G coming online, it's becoming easier and cheaper to move compute to the IoT devices on the edge. So you're moving the compute closer to the data, closer to the action, and you're only sending it back to the cloud when you need to. That's going to be exciting and really push the cloud out to the edge. I also see the idea of using AI in the cloud data center itself to help with predictive maintenance, help with uptime, help with the overall maintenance of that data center in order to make that data center more reliable. And also cloud devices. You'll start to see the fact that we're going to have all the compute, all the applications, all the data in the cloud. And now with 5G, now all you need is a UI, and that UI can be wearable. It can be part of your clothing. But now you'll be able to have cloud computing access anywhere you want to go with a very very, very light form factor.
Wow. And with can you give us a little bit some more examples of how the government is? I know you give us a few, but can you give us some more use cases on how the government is really taking advantage of using the cloud computing side?
Yeah. So like one, is cybersecurity. From a cloud perspective, to protect the cloud using data and AI, to protect the cloud and help, look for cybersecurity threats and predict cyber security threats. Also for adjudication. I mean, when you have a lot of cases going through, the government, leveraging data, AI and machine learning to help with that adjudication, especially some of that upfront processing, is where the machine learning is very accurate, so that by the time it gets to an employee or a human, most of that grunt work has been done, and allows the employee to do what they do best in terms of processing those forms or court case or whatever it may be.
Okay. Are you using, is facial recognition part of that as well? Are they using that as well?
I mean, obviously there's some controversy around using facial recognition. So I would say that comes into responsible AI, which means that, you want to be ethical in how you use AI. You want to make sure that doesn't include any bias. So you really have to make sure if you're going to use facial recognition that you have the right people, the right data, and you're really making sure that you don't transport bias into some of the results that are coming out of that.
All right. And Brian, how do you and your team kind of keep abreast of the technology changes so quickly. So how do you keep up with the technology, and as well as your team? How are you guys keeping up to date with all this stuff changes so quickly?
I mean, at Microsoft, we have a strong learning culture. As you can imagine, we have great research around cloud, data, and AI. And I would tell you that Microsoft has a very aggressive interning learning program in terms of certifications, and they also open those certifications out to outside of Microsoft. But that really helps. I mean, it really helps, like you said, because I would agree with you. I would say every 6 months, it's like things are changing again, and it's and you need to make sure that you're continuing to learn. And the continuous learning culture at Microsoft really helps, set the tone, as we move forward.
Gotcha. And what keeps you what makes you excited, or when you're working with clients? Is it the innovation side or cost saving side? Like what kind of, or what do you see the most happening?
I mean, I like, when I work, the reason I like working with the government is because of the mission impact. And when you can use innovation to help save money and save their budget, then they can use that budget to then start adding additional capabilities. And that's what really excites me, is to, freeing up the federal employees from a lot of this low-level work that could easily be done by a machine, and free them up to do things that really help drive the mission forward. So the answer to your question is, leveraging, innovation to, drive down costs, but then to be able to help take that cost and, even drive even more mission impact.
And we hear this a lot, the more we take on technology, the less there'll be work for people, right? Is that something that you hear a lot when you're kind of implementing this stuff, these strategies, and going through that transformation, that digital transformation with the government? Is that something that people are concerned about?
Well, I mean, and that's where the AI literacy helps to make them understand that, we're far away from, AI replacing humans or anything like that. I mean, really, AI, I would say, is augmented intelligence, and really, it actually, AI plus a human is going to perform better, because an AI can take on some of those low-level, repeatable process that requires a lot of number crunching, and the humans can do what a human does better. And augmented human intelligence is where that superpower comes in. And so that's why I like to start with AI literacy, to just dispel those rumors of how AI replacing humans.
Right. And is it a, I want to say mandate, but the direction come from top down or from the bottom up in terms of getting things implementing and telling them, hey, look, this is a strategy we want to take? And what do you find?
I mean, it definitely works better from top down, because the top down leaders need to give their employees and organization room to go experiment with AI and learn from it, and and actually grow their AI capability. And when that's coming from from the top, and the government's been pretty good about putting out their strategies around how to leverage AI and some of the the principles around that, and then it drives that into the agency. That really sets the tone and really gives the managers and the SMEs and the analysts the room and the courage to actually go work with AI and see how they can implement it in their agency.
Well, listen, folks, this has been great. Listen, I want to thank you, Brian, for joining me today and walking me through your experiences, definitely working with government. And any last minute things you'd like to say or part with us?
The thing I would just say is I'm a big fan of AI literacy. So take the time to learn about it, and it will really open your mind to how you can leverage AI to help drive your mission, and migrate to the cloud and push that data to the center of your organization so you can start making data-driven decisions and drive mission impact.
All right. Well, there we go. Well, listen, Brian, again, thank you again. It was a pleasure having you. And please visit us at cdomagazine.tech for additional interviews.
Thanks for having me.